Kernave is a unique cultural heritage of archaeological and historical values representing all prehistoric and early history periods. It is the only archaeological site in the region of the Baltic Sea, which comprises 5 hill forts, settlements, burial sites, and other archaeological values. In order to preserve, explore and promote this cultural heritage, the State Cultural Reserve was founded here in 1989. Only in the middle of the 19th century, the founding fathers of Lithuanian archaeology began to show interest in Kernave. A century later, in 1979, Vilnius University launched systematic scientific research, and archaeologists from the Cultural Reserve of Kernave joined in. Only around 1.5% of the territory has been explored. However, some results can already be obviously seen. A chronologically consecutive historical panorama of Kernave has been disclosed. On the banks of the Neris River in Pajautos Valley, the traces of earliest inhabitants were found, and these date back to the 9th or 8th century BC. During the first centuries AD, Kernave started to prosper, large settlements started to appear, and hill forts started to be used for defense. In the 13th century, a town of Middle Ages grew up at the foot of hill forts. Kernave became one of the most important national, economic and political centers of the state. In 1279, it was mentioned for the first time in German chronicles as an estate of the Grand Duke of Lithuania, Traidanis. The Duke's residence was settled in the central hill fort of Aukuras Hill, while the rest 4 hill forts performed the function of 4 castles, protecting the castle of the Duke and the town. After the last Crusaders' attack in 1390, the castle and the old town were destroyed and they were never rebuilt again. During long centuries, the remains of the old town were covered by a thick layer of silt, and it perfectly preserved unique artifacts of organic nature. Here, historical values remained undisturbed by human activities, and now restorers of the Cultural Reserve are bringing them back to life. All artifacts collected are kept in collections of the Museum of Archaeology and History, where they're introduced to the public in a form of permanent exposition. "50,000 visitors come to this cultural reserve annually. An educational program is run here, traditional equinox is celebrated, International Festival of Experimental Archaeology, Days of Living Archaeology in Kernave is held every year. The major part of reconstructing processes of manufacture and way of life, which are reproduced during this festival, rests upon the specific archaeological data of Kernave.